As the 2-year anniversary of the deadly Maui wildfire nears, a $4 billion global settlement in principle remains pending in court. Tonight, Gina Mangieri, always investigating, and has the latest.
The statute of limitations appears headed toward an extension, and many of the insurers who fronted the funds to cover property-related claims are still grappling with how to recoup portions of money paid by the defendants. Friday, August 8th, will be a somber day, the 2-year anniversary of Maui wildfires that destroyed properties in many areas of the Valley Isle and turned deadly across Lahaina. It's also the scheduled day for a 9 a.m. status conference in a Maui courtroom on the still pending multi-billion-dollar settlement meant to resolve any and all claims.
I wouldn't say we're not in the home stretch. I think everyone agrees to the parameters of the agreement. But I think what they want to make sure is that all the moving parts have been addressed.
A flurry of recent filings shows some considerable ninth-inning issues, including what appears to be an agreement by plaintiffs and the non-state defendants for what's called tolling the statute of limitations. In layman's terms, extending the option for more individual plaintiffs to file and settle. The deadline would otherwise have been this Friday, 2 years past the fire.
Basically, what they're saying is anybody who relied on the promise of the agreement or settlement and as a result didn't file a lawsuit, well, by all means, you got until August 8th of 2026 to file your lawsuit.
There are still key fall 2025 deadlines for formalizing a spot on the plaintiff list. Non-state defendants include Hawaiian Electric, Maui County, Kamehameha Schools, West Maui Land Company, Charter Spectrum, and Hawaiian Telcom.
I don't know if it was something preemptive that they anticipate there's a problem with the settlement. The net effect would be that, perhaps they're trying to force the settlement to go through.
As for payouts, some money has already been dispersed from the One Ohana Fund, intended to compensate families of the deceased or those severely injured. And the state's portion of the settlement is already funded. The governor told KHON2 last week.
We did settle the lawsuit so that the resources, $4 billion, is now going to the people that lost so much. Plus $1.6 billion has been committed and is coming from the federal government. So those are hundreds of thousands of dollars to help people rebuild homes.
Plaintiffs' attorneys tell us the bulk of the $4 billion is still pending payout, but they're pushing for that to occur at the earliest December of this year or first quarter of next year. We also wanted to know how the statute of limitations extension would affect the share of the payout to each plaintiff.
Obviously, that's a concern because if you have more people in the class, then the pie is divided even more.
Other recent filings cover subrogation, ongoing disagreements about how insurers will recoup money that they paid their customers. In February, the state Supreme Court ruled that insurers could not block the settlement, but could request the money paid out to be reimbursed. One of the nation's largest insurers filed last week a notice of lien letters provided to their insureds with the contents under seal.
They're just following what the normal course is. But from, the general public, they see a disaster like this and they kind of think, well, the insurance companies are trying to take the money away from the victims. So maybe that's why it's probably under seal.
An attorney for the insurers tells me this is the first time in Hawaii's history that property insurers will have to undertake a lien resolution process involving policyholders. We'll continue to follow up after this week's status conference and other key milestones in the global settlement outcome. Gina Mangieri, KHON2 News, always investigating.